Let's talk about website history. Very important. If you can go and look at the historical archives of what a website looked like, over a period of time, you can learn a lot of valuable information. You can just see how it has evolved. You can see how the business has changed, what products have changed, copywriting has changed, conversion has changed. You can learn so much by looking at a website's history. So what can we uncover by looking at a website's history? We can tell a lot by looking at how it evolved over time, just like I said. We can discover mistakes that they had to correct. So you can see where they ran tests where maybe they tested some copy or tested a certain type of offer or certain website design, certain types of photos of the products. You can see so much, but you know that if they changed it, it's because it wasn't working and or they figured out a better way to make more money. Very, very critical. So typically you can just go and look at the last 6 months of history for a website, and you can really find a lot of golden nuggets on how they figured out ways to make more profit in their business by making certain changes. We, of course, can tell if they've added any new products or services or taken any away or changed anything. We can tell if they've changed their prices. We can tell if they change their design, like I just said. We can see the copywriting changes, like I mentioned. So you can see so much by looking at a website's history. It's an incredible evolution, and it really shows you, it's incredibly valuable if you grasp this. It really shows you the path from wherever they were with their business and making money to a point where they're making more money, or they wouldn't have made those changes. They would have tested things and stayed with the old version. So clearly that evolution is gradual improvement, moving more and more towards higher and higher profitability. So of course I mentioned we can see they've added new conversion elements. So you can basically see if they've done anything to their site. So a great free tool to check website history is the Wayback Machine. You may have seen this before. It's a great little site at archive.org. You can go type in a domain name and you can see all the different years that they have kind of copies of the website. And you can go and look at it. Now, it's not perfect. Sometimes you'll load up an old date and it won't load the graphics or there'll be some issues. But it's pretty great for the last several years to be able to look at different versions of sites. Now, when you go there, this is kind of what you see. This is a quick example of typing in cooking.com. And all those kind of blue little circles you see there on the calendar are different site versions that it was able to record and archive. And up towards the top where you see that little timeline of years, and you see in yellow 2014. So we have a little bit in 2015, a couple of black bars there showing a little bit of recorded site changes. It shows all the other years where, based on how much activity there was that it recorded, looks like a lapse there in 2009 and 2008, but it's solid all the way up in 2005, and then we can go all the way back to 1999, 1998. Probably see a couple of different versions of the original site back then, over 10 years ago. So this is an incredibly powerful tool. You can click those dates and it'll kind of try to load what the site looked like back then. But it's a great way to take any competitor site and just look at it over the course of like the last year or even 2 years to kind of see what they were selling, how they were selling it, their prices, the copy, the conversion techniques, so on and so forth. It's very, very powerful. So you'll definitely want to do that. Start using this tool as a part of our process to kind of figure out where a website's been and where it's going and where it is today, because we can really learn a lot from it. Now, here's a bonus tip. Stop your sites from being indexed by this Wayback Machine. If you want to stop your competitors, which you should, unless you have some other reason for keeping an archive history of your site on the internet, it's really easy to stop that site and tool from indexing your site and including you in their history. Even if you have a history there now, go to this URL, archive.org/about/exclude.php. And it's an HTTPS URL, by the way, so it's a secure page. But if you go there, it gives you instructions that you can add an index robot.txt file to your website, to the root of your domain website or web server. And when it comes back there to crawl and copy your site again, it'll see that little robot include text file, and it tells you on that page what to put in it, and that tells its robots not only don't index the site anymore, but remove all the history and everything in the Wayback Machine for that site. So you can go right now and take all your sites, follow those instructions, add that little text file to your web server, and as soon as it comes back to crawl your site, it tells it, hey, you don't have permission to do this. We don't want you to do this. Remove us from your website. And it'll de-archive you from the Wayback Machine. So your competitors can't go and look at all your different versions of your site and learn from what you've changed. And so obviously you can see that's very, very valuable. So one of the things we're going to cover in this class a little bit where we can is not only how do we spy and look at our competitors, but what things can we do to keep our competitors from spying and looking at us? So that's very important to kind of protect our position in the marketplace. If we start making a lot of money, we want to slow down competitors. We're going to go over several ways that we can do that throughout the class, how we can stop competitors in their tracks, how we can slow them down, how we can make it harder for them to kind of snoop and figure out what we're doing and to clone us. So this is one tip and one step of that process. Go to that URL, follow the instructions, or give it to your webmaster or whoever your tech person is that can help you, and immediately put that at the root of your web server and get your website's history removed from the Wayback Machine.